No. Final.
Come on.
Hey, man, you know boys coming for answers.
Answers.
Yes,
Yo.
dog.
Yes, sir.
Word.
Yeah, they coming to the final word for answers today, dog. But we gonna talk to them.
Talk to him. We ain't gonna hurt you.
Nah.
Nah, I ain't gonna hurt you.
Hey, we downhill now.
Let's get it.
Let's get it,
Packers
dog.
week, man. It's time to stomp these dudes. Like, I don't know. I had two games circled on my calendar this year. The Bucks and the Packers. And I want to stomp these dudes. I don't want no close game. I don't want to win by 3. I want a beat down.
And no morals, no moral victory.
Yeah, no,
The final word.
This needs to be a beat down, y'all.
The final word.
Yeah, this one go feel good to whoop this team.
Yeah, man. They overdue. They do.
Man, they do, bro. Ooh,
They do.
they
man.
do.
That's why, hey, you know what they was talking about, Tom Brady, man? I want them to make the playoffs.
The
I want
final
to play them
word.
in the playoffs.
The
I want to
final
play
word.
them in the playoffs because I want to get ready.
Final
I want to
word.
send them out.
The final word.
Well, Big,
beat
you know how to
the
get
final
somebody
word.
going, boy.
The final word.
The final word.
The final word. How we sound, man? Sound check.
Mic check. 1,
Yo,
2,
yo, yo, yo.
3.
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The final word.
Had
They
a
coming in
drop
with them
sound. The
flames.
final word. Drops. Is it too loud? Is it too low?
I see y'all coming in with them flames. Let's go.
Yo got fire.
Come on.
Yo got flame.
The flames.
I see you.
Yoga fire.
They say it's all
Yoga
clear on my
flame.
end. No echoes.
All right, this is
sound
where the
good.
season begins now, right?
Yep.
This is where the season begins right now.
Midway.
The
final word. According to Parcells, not until after Thanksgiving or that Thanksgiving game. According to Parcells.
Got you.
Yeah.
Boy, say they want
Hey.
to run it up. Let's go. I see y'all with the flames, man. Let's go. The
Yo
final
got
word.
fire. Yo got fire.
Yoga fire.
Final word.
Yoga flame.
Let's go.
Come on. The final word.
The final word on Odell. We gonna talk about that. Wait, I can't wait to talk to that.
Oh, Odell.
What's that?
Oh my God, I can't
Oh,
wait to talk to you boys with
man.
that. Ooh, wait,
Man.
let's go.
Man.
The final word.
That right there. That
final
right there, buddy.
word.
The final word.
I got a cup in my hand.
The final
Ooh,
word.
wait.
The final
What's
word.
in your cup, dog? The final Don't play big. I see y'all throwing up the flames. I see it.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
All right, man. We finna kick it off. Y'all already know. Here we go. Here we go.
Best way to do it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow.
There's that song. There's that song. We trying to run it up with this OBJ, huh?
Ooh, wait.
Trying to run it up. We trying to run it up. Try to run up with this one.
Lately.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Yeah.
Shout out to you,
Yeah.
Jane Simmons, Cowboys, Matt, Chris Davis, Jackie Price, Facebook user. Appreciate you.
Lately, I just wanna
Yeah, let me get some shout outs to the Ninja, Florida Cowboys, Coast Cowboys, KG, what's up, dog? I holla at you, Jay Lombardi, Mel Hayes, what's up with your dog, Peaceful TV, David Jenkins, you know what I'm saying, the Lunatic, the Marcus Green, Peaceful TV, everybody, we love y'all.
Much love, man.
Still the same, I switch it sides.
And I see you, John, Mike, No None, Moon Wisdom, Swain, Queen, Keystone in the building. Jeremy Hill, Captain Cowboy, Gregory Davis, Captain. Let's go.
Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it
Too legit.
I've been really in the field, love
Yep.
the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna
run
it up.
Yeah, man, let's go, bro. All right, man. So, all right, we said we was gonna kick it off with Odell Beckham. Let's first start with your thoughts in general, Big. We always kick it off with you, bro, because we ain't heard from you. What's your thoughts? I got a lot here too, bro. We gonna take all the angles on this, every bit of it.
Okay. Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to give you a big shout out because, giving me that respect, just every time we open up, you start with me. Not saying it's I just appreciate that from you, big dog. And I just want to tell you that. Thank you very much.
Already.
If you want me to be totally truthful about this OBJ thing,
Always.
I know how our front office is, right?
Right.
I mean, I know how it is, so I'm not getting excited about it because of our front office. But inside, I'm getting excited about it, if you understand what I'm saying. Because I feel like the Dallas Cowboys players, and I made a tweet about this, the Michael Parsons, I feel like players are like, hey, this is a guy we kind of need right here. Yes, we love CD. Yes, we love Michael Gallup. Yes, we love our 2 tight ends, but this is OBJ, dog. We seen what he was able to do when he came with those Rams. He changed their team. Yeah, they had Cooper Kupp, but you had OBJ. Now you had 2 diabolical threats that you had to deal with, right, on that offensive end, and that made those Rams very dangerous, and you saw it going through the playoffs. And we know what OBJ is. We saw with him with the New York Giants, and I ain't gonna lie, who can't sit there and say you ain't never always liked this dude's talent and ability and just his persona? You can't say you haven't. You can't say you haven't. He has an exciting personality that no matter what you say, you like, dang, boy, if you had that on your squad, you remember what he came in and did with the Cleveland Browns against the Dallas Cowboys too? You feel me? He's he's a different type of player. And we can't sit there and say, I've heard people say, oh, well, what about the diva? And what about this? And what about if he don't get the ball? Man, you got to forget all that right here. If you got a chance to add a top talent like this to make your team better on the offensive end, because what have we been screaming, y'all? We dropped 49, but you can't tell me you add a OBJ to your offense, dropping 49 without him. How much better does that make your team? We already talked about our defense. You made a move with Jonathan Hankins, right, to kind of shore up that middle, to kind of what we've been screaming like we need to shore up that middle, right? The Cowboys went and did it. Even though it was on the cheap side, they went and shored up something that needed to be shored up. We need an explosive receiver to help out CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup and the such. Why wouldn't you do that? And if you do that, to me, it says, okay, we're trying to take it to the next level. We're putting some chips all the way in here. That's what it tells me, that you putting chips in when you add a OBJ. We putting chips in and saying, okay, you know what? We going for it this year. We ain't playing around this year. We going for it. And that's what I would have a better feeling about these Dallas Cowboys if they were to make an addition like this.
Man, what a great opening statement by Big Game James. And just to echo what he's saying, Odell Beckham will help the team. He won't weaken the team. The team is better if you sign Odell Beckham, not worse. And you got levels of experience come with it. Somebody who been to the big dance, someone who went to a team that he wasn't originally from and helped elevate said team. So it's matchups too. It's the respect of the game. The DBs, the opposition got to stay up an extra 15 to 30 minutes game planning, because they're not doing that with the guys that we have right now, of the Noah Browns of the world, or even Michael Gallup. Out of respect to those boys, I'm not saying that they're trash or anything. That's not coming out of my mouth. But we would be foolish to think that those guys, not saying that we can't, but it just would be harder to just say, hey, we're going to go through this season with CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown, and Michael Gallup, and hoping and praying and leaning on the hopes that James Washington can be that guy that can stand tall. But I get it if you look at it and say, well, hey, he had an ACL tear, and we don't know how it will be since he's going to have 2 coming back from 2. Keep this into the mindset right here. He came back from the first one, right? It wasn't that much of a drop from the first one. And I think that it's the same leg, right? So it's not like it's another leg. So he may just come back the same. And it's the same time frame from Odell Beckham's injury juxtaposed to even Michael Gallup. I know that they got injured in a different time, but remember, Gallup, he held back on getting his surgery. You guys remember that, right? So it's about like a week or so off, and Gallup is doing things. And I'm not saying that Odell Beckham would be a cancer in the locker room or would not be able to gel, but dog it, this dude elevated last year and showed levels of maturity. And like what Big Game James said against the Cleveland Browns when we played against them, last I checked that it was 4 or 5 of Cowboy players trying to tackle him, and he was able to score that touchdown to be the game changer. I'm looking at it now that the shoe should be on the Cowboys' foot, and maybe if he can win us one game, it'll be worth it. If he can win us 2, 3 down the line, it'll be worth it. So, yeah, bring in Odell Beckham. I think he will help versus hurt.
My boy Adam said, how much will Odell be? See,
Spot Rack says they had an open market value of anywhere between 10 to 13 million APY.
Yeah. So, and I don't care, honestly, at this point, because whoever we getting, it's already understood, in my opinion. It's already understood, in my opinion, that you got to spend for going over the top. At this point of the season, it's not about the money. It's about the opportunity, to be honest. Like, I'll worry about that budget stuff later, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And we good at budgeting, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. And then at this point, to keep it real, it's also, people know he had 2 ACL surgeries. Teams have leverage on him, not the other way around. Now, if he would have finished out that Super Bowl, now he would have had leverage, right? But the fact that he had an injury in February, the owners have leverage on him in terms of market. So I don't think his cost gonna be too bad at all. You know, the thing is he gonna want a long-term deal. I think a long-term deal right now will be womp. Bad idea, dog. Nah. I think all these teams gonna be like, we got to put you on a prove-it contract. Let's see how you work out for the rest of this year, and then we'll talk about if we go pay you next year, based on how you finish. What's your thoughts on that?
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I went out. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't think they're gonna. I think that's the sticking point, boss. I think that's where it. I think you just mentioned it right there, and I think you mentioned it too, Law. On your, or you had mentioned how he probably want a multi-year, and I feel like that's where you're like, that's why I'm not getting excited. You feel me? Because I don't feel like they're going to give him a multi-year deal. Like, he's going to want some security, right? Some security of this is going to be my home for multiple years. And the way Dallas is and the way they go,
right,
he's going to want some money. If he's going to want a multi-year deal, he's going to want bread. And that's why I haven't been excited about it. I want it, right? We want it, boss. We want it, Law, right? But in the old reality of it, when you see multi-year deal, I want money, bidding wars with other teams.
Yeah.
Where do we really believe that Stephen Jones will really jump out there and outbid another team? It has not happened. And even when we got Jonathan Hankins, as I said before, he was cheap. He came here for next to nothing. Right. We waited 2 years to get him because he was more expensive, right? And he wasn't even that expensive then with the Raiders when he signed that deal with them. Right. So that's why I can't say out there like, oh, Dallas is going to get him. I just say I would hope. But reality says when a player of his caliber wants a multi-year deal, wants secured and say this is going to be my home, and you're outbid, and you got other bidders like the Niners and teams that are trying to get to the Super Bowl right now, I don't see where Dallas would do that. That would tell me they would, Boston Law, but I don't believe that part.
I don't believe it either, dog.
No, well,
I don't.
Well, there's 3 options in trading, right? You can go long, short. and you can stay put. Those are the three options. And if a player is wanting to go long, then you can whoop them with the contract language, right? There's a lot of ways where we can do this. It's funny how Dak Prescott, he didn't want the long contract. Remember? He wanted the short contract so he can get back in front of the new agreements of the CBA or what have you when they open up more and more money. Well, since this guy, Odell, is looking for a long-term deal, we can contract whoop him if you can sit down and say, all right, we got this Sean Lee-based contract, whereas we got incentives laced in with this contract. And if you saying that you are who you are, then if anybody know how to work those contracts, because the Cowboys are brilliant with it. Look up Tyron Smith contract. Look up all of these guys, the offensive line contract, how they were able to utilize the language. And even when we did bring in a guy with a long tooth by the name of McCoy, we had insiders in that contract or language in the contract. If something to happen to that said leg, that knee buckle or what have you, we can walk out of there clean as a whistle. So I believe if the Cowboys are wise enough, they would give a little to Odell and say, hey, we will give you this long-term contract. We will make sure that you got this house in Frisco and a babysitter and a new Ferrari and everything that you're looking for, right? Because he's saying that he's tired of living out of his suitcase. And we will put things around you so you can be comfortable and you can get this thing going. But I know John Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones. They will have also this right here. We will let you go if you don't hit those god doggone incentives. But I appreciate you.
Hey man, I can't fight you.
That's real talk.
That was real.
That's real talk right there.
Hey,
they know how to work them contracts, boy.
Now, a couple of comments that I like is coming from Facebook. Facebook, y'all bringing it, dog. I like Facebook right now. Y'all bringing that Facebook fire questions, dog. I see you, Facebook. My boy Adam said, good comment by my boy Adam. He said Gallup got about an average of 10 million. And see, I'm glad you brought that up, Adam, because that's what I would call the ACL market. That makes sense, right? Gallup is younger, right? Was ascending, and he only got 10. So he set the ACL market. For those who wonder what around he should, his threshold. So 10 million is a good number, Adam. Good insight on that, big dog. Also, Shane. This is a good point by Shane. We're going to talk about this. This is going to spin us into something else. Shane said, boss, I believe that the Cowboys are serious about Odell, but what concerns me is the chemistry. We're going to talk about the chemistry. But this, because at first, Law, I ain't going to even lie to both of you brothers. Like, just being all the way honest with you, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what I was thinking, bro. Like, stop.
I mean, I feel that one too, but
yeah, stop.
I might try to kick that football.
Yeah, I was feeling like they was getting us ready for the womp. You know what I'm saying? The womp.
Right.
But something got my attention. I wanna talk to y'all about this because it get different when this happens.
Talk to us.
The odds makers got Dallas as the favorite. Oh, it get different then. It get different then. See, they know something, dog.
We got some breaking news.
Yeah. It get different, dog, when Vegas starts saying we the favorites.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, boss.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, boss. And I'm gonna ask the chat. I want to ask y'all and the chat. Y'all know how I feel about baby nuts, right? Y'all know how I feel about the organization. But I'm asking the chat. A lot of people were all pessimists that, we know how the Joneses are. We know how they are. We feel that, right? What if they did sign them, though? What would y'all think then?
Well,
would it change your thoughts about the organization?
Yeah.
It will.
A little bit.
A little bit.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because see, Jerry said last week, I can play the clip. He said, if I could make a move that appears like I went in and give up the future, I would. But the key word is he said appears. See, Big, this is really not all in, dog.
Nah. Let me tell you what would have been all in, though. Big Game James.
He getting us.
What would have been all in on this season for the 2022?
Right.
Would have been the Roquan and DJ.
That's all in.
DJ. If you'd have did that, I would have been like, man, I go to the moon.
Okay.
I go to the moon.
Right. I'm with you. Yes. This ain't all in, dog. So would he get me to be like, oh, Jared Neal made a move? I'll be like, yeah. But it would be different, though. It would be something that they don't do, even though. So still, I would commend them for it.
Yeah.
And I would want them to do it ASAP. If they go do anything, stop talking about it. I also don't believe they go do it because they talking about it.
Because they playing.
Yeah. You know,
if you really wanted it, you would have made it happen.
What they say, real G's move in silence, man. You know, when Von Miller got picked up, everybody, mama, uncle, cousin, Tupac, and Biggie climbing out of the grave was saying that he's about to go to the Dallas Cowboys, right? It seems like if it was a layup. And then overnight.
Womp.
Breaking news out of somewhere in Buffalo, they done signed Von Miller. We're like, wait a minute. That wasn't even brought up as a conversation, you know? And then all of a sudden he went over there. But people, I bumped into some family members, and boss, you know, his family members all over DeSoto and Cedar Hill and Dallas and Mansfield and everywhere. And he was like, hey, man, my cuz, man, watch your channel, man. I said, who you is? And man, Von Miller, dog, he wanted to go play for the Cowboys, dog. That's how they sound. Dog, he wanted to play for the Cowboys. They that never even called him. I was like, whoa, for real?
Yeah.
Shout out to Von Miller.
So we didn't move in silence on this one. That's why I don't believe it. Even though Vegas put us as the odds to get him, as an odds, it would make sense. Let's listen to Jerry real quick, man. We gonna put Jerry in this. Yeah, I got Jerry. Here we go. I told you we gonna look at this from a lot of different angles. All right, we gonna also look at the downside of this, like chemistry. We gonna talk about all of that. All right, so here we go.
Number of reports over the weekend that the team has some interest in Odell Beckham Jr. Can you talk about if that's accurate, if you guys do have interest, where you guys stand on that, and also just where you feel your receiving core is at in general right now at this point of the season?
Well, that's a big question. I really like where we are with our receiving core. We got, of course, Washington coming back, and that's big. And we've got Gallup.
Wait, let's pause that real quick.
That's big.
You believe that? See, because we don't know who he is, bro. We don't know. So we got to wait and see. But the fact that he said that's big, I'm telling you, he's setting us up for. I'm see, because I'm hearing that womp on this boy. Here we go.
Who is just, in my mind, getting better at the level that we would expect him to be, and improving every day. And of course, Lamb, we think, is everything that we wanted at our number one receiver. I like the way we're pitching the ball, throwing the ball with our tight ends, and I think that's meaningful in this conversation. Because as I see us going forward, that could basically dictate just how aggressive we are in any type of additions that we have here with our receivers. On the other hand, Odell is someone that we have all the appreciation in the world for what he is as a competitor, and know that the Cowboy star on that helmet, when he puts it on, could look pretty good.
Wait.
What do you need to see?
Wait.
And balls. Go ahead.
Did you hear him say when he put that star on his helmet?
Oh, yeah.
Our receivers. On the other hand, Odell is someone that we have all the appreciation in the world for what he is as a competitor, and know that the Cowboy star on that helmet, when he puts it on, could look pretty good.
Yeah, win. Oh, I didn't even pay. Boy, boss Cowboy, you be.
Know that
I seen that. I seen
the
that
Cowboy
win.
star on
Pick
that helmet, when he puts it on, could look pretty
That's
good.
why I made that tweet.
Man,
I know you paid that
but-
much of attention to the word win, you know.
he said when he put that. He said when, dog.
Win. Okay.
But I also heard him say, we have an appreciation. That could also be, we appreciate you, but
Ah!
He put the bet in there.
we have a lot of appreciation in the world for you, but you cost too much.
Let me ask y'all to this though. What you and I know an ACL tear is just terrible, right? But which one, as a wide receiver, bad feet or knees? Which one is worse?
Ooh.
Because as a wide receiver, you use them feet, man.
I know them because them ankles important and them knees.
Boy, if you got bad knees though.
See, I trust honestly, Law.
The
I
James
trust
Washington
today's
with
science.
them feet, man.
I see, and I exactly, and see, Law, bro. See, that's the point you just made that most people fighting this whole thing on, and it don't make sense, right? There are us Cowboy fans offended that we taking this discussion serious. We should talk about this because for some reason people think we trying to replace Gallup and CD Lamb when you really looking at just what you said. It's really Odell Beckham versus James Washington and Noah Brown.
Yeah.
That's what we dealing with right now. And we should know from Cedric Wilson that every now and then your number 3 receiver got to win you the game.
Facts.
And now
And
you
know
got
what else,
Noah.
Go ahead.
Now you got Noah with a foot injury, and we don't know what's going on with that. And we don't know if that's going to be an ailment that stays with him during the season. We don't even know that. And now we know James Washington with these feet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this, and then like Gallup with an ACL. Yeah, this is about depth. Like, and it makes sense.
What happens if CD get hurt?
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
And
if CD Lamb gets hurt, then it's really bad. And that's the thing. That's why I say you got to look at that, because just like you said, boss, the depth. But quality depth, not just any kind of depth.
Right.
Quality depth. A guy that could come right in and be electric for your team. You, God forbid, like you said, you already got ailments with Michael Gallup. Now, he's not 100%. You got the ailment with Noah Brown with the foot. James Washington, like Law said, with the feet. You're a big major injury away from being in trouble. Because, yes, we got those tight ends, but it's working because you still got a decent enough receiving core that they're threats on the inside. But if those receivers like a CD Lamb goes down, now they're going to just bunch up on those tight ends, and they're going to really press that line of scrimmage, and they're going to say, we're going man-to-man because we don't believe you can win these one-on-one battles. You get what I'm saying?
Facts,
so we're really going to attack you now. If you have an Odell Beckham Jr., that makes them say, let's back up a little bit because this guy's electric.
And guess what? It just hit me. Guess who's our healthiest wide receiver right now?
I would say CD Lamb.
It's Gallup. Even though he's battling coming off, remember, CD Lamb had that hip pointer, and those things flare up here and there. And CD Lamb himself, he been battling with those little knickknacks. And the whole thing with Jalen Tolbert, it's been his hamstring that been having his issues. And of course, it happened at the worst time for him to get out there on the field without his primary quarterback. He had Cooper Rush out there, and he couldn't find quality time to get on the same page with him. So it's been Gallup, who's been, like they said, recovering all offseason as your healthy wide receiver, who really didn't miss that many days as relates to practices and things like that. I think since the start of the season, the person that missed more practice days been out of the group, CD Lamb. So if you're getting ready to prepare yourself and you see the forecast, don't get mad at the person that's saying that there's a 95% chance rain. All we're saying, Cowboy Nation, go get the umbrella, right? Just in case. That's all we saying.
Just in case, dog. Now check this out, because I want to. That segue perfectly, Law. You're so good at this. To this next point, and I like what Tariq said in the comments where he talked about. Let me pull him up real quick. I like what Tariq said. Tariq said, "Didn't Woods get hurt last year for the Rams and Odell stepped right in?" See, it's the insurance, exactly, Tariq. It's the insurance. It's the fact that we getting ready to try to make a playoff run. Yeah, if you're trying to win a ring, last year's receiving core was healthy. This one is not. Last year's receiver core was deeper. This one was not. We was content all the way down to Turner. We're no longer content like that, y'all. I mean, just what it is. But check this out. I want to play this part because to me, this is fire content as well. Check this out. Listen.
Like that in the middle of the season when you take into account factors like, are they going to get up to speed fast enough? Can we count on guys to step up their play that are already here internally? What is that evaluation process like for you guys?
Well, I think a veteran player such as Odell, but my experience has been when we've brought a veteran player in, they hit the ground running in terms of being able to compete. And so that usually is not a big factor when we think about whether or not a player can he fit? Now the player's individual skills, his people skills, as well as his past experience.
Wait.
People skills.
Hell. What the?
A player can he fit? Now the player's individual skills, his people skills, as well as his past experience.
Bro. Well, a couple of things we gonna take from that, and I'm gonna send you a new link, OC. A couple of things to take from that, bro. First of all, is he lying when he say when we make acquisitions like this, they play immediately? They hit the ground running in terms of competition. He not lying, because that's what happened with Amari, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
They
turned
Amari
up.
Immediately they turned him on, like go. So that part, history say he's telling the truth, right? Now, what did he just say about people skills?
People skills, yeah.
And see, remember I did that video and I was saying they be looking for Jesus Christ to be the temperament for the Dallas Cowboy receiver, and they don't understand that they never go find them.
You're never gonna find that, boss. And then on top of that, it was semi with Amari Cooper because he entered the draft so young. So by the time he got to the Cowboys, he was still young. He was still a young veteran who was still on his rookie's contract, right? So those are two different worlds. Even Amari Cooper, not even 30 yet, right? So it's just two different worlds. How old is Amari Cooper, by the way?
He's still in his 20s. I know that.
I think he's like 29.
Is he 29? So he was still a young wide receiver when they asked him to play right away, and then the circumstances was a whole lot different. He wasn't coming off of any battles of injuries, and the good favor for him is that he had that season 2 bye weeks because they did the acquisition while the Raiders was on their bye week, and then the Cowboys was headed into their bye week. So it was a blessing in disguise when we picked up Amari Cooper, by the way.
Big.
Yo.
It's on you.
Oh, okay.
On those two things he was talking about, because he was talking about the two things he was talking about was people skills, which you heard. It was like, like me. And then was he telling the truth on receivers making it an instant impact?
Oh, well, definitely on the instant impact, just like you said, boss. with the Amari Cooper. I mean, I think I said my dog Mel Hayes said it best in the comment section. And he said, man, if Dak had OBJ, he would turn all the way up. And I believe it. I believe if the way Amari Cooper came in and he just changed this whole team and that connection with Dak was instant, I really believe that if OBJ came, that would be instant. I mean, it would click instantly. We'd be like, oh snap. I think we would be excited like that. We'd be like, oh, while we was waiting for this. This is what we've been waiting for, because I don't know, it just seems like when Dak gets somebody super explosive, he turns up even more, right? It just seems that way. It just feels that way. When he gets somebody super explosive, he turn all the way up.
He does.
And I just believe he would do that. Looking for the be able to speak well in public. Come on, man. Y'all kill me with that. Y'all take anybody off the streets. Y'all grab anybody, bad history, all kind of crazy stuff. They've been doing all kind of crazy things. Now you're talking about some people skills. Man, cut that out, Jared. So don't talk about no people skills out here. Just talk about signing OBJ so you can make this offense better. That's the only thing you need to talk about.
That comment let me know they don't understand receivers.
They don't.
Mm-hmm.
Receivers don't have people skills.
They don't.
Right.
They are
about them.
They want the ball. There's no way to say that nicely.
Right.
So
Keyshawn wrote a book about it, boss.
Say it again, dog.
Keyshawn wrote a book about it.
Talk about it.
Give me the damn ball.
Yo.
Bro, just give me that confirmed it. I always knew that they had this corporate America mind state about receiver, and that proves it. That's why nobody works. T.O. couldn't work. Dez couldn't work. Amari couldn't work. CD Lamb won't work. I'm telling you. It's not them. It's not the weapons. It is front office. They want them to come in there and be people skills.
No, you can't change. And that's part of the role with a wide receiver. You got to be able to have that moxie too. Even if it's silent, even if it's boisterous, you got to have that dog mentality, because the wide receiver is one of the hardest positions to learn in the National Football League, because you got to do your assignment so right, because you never know when that ball is heading your way. The day you take on 90%, that's the day that you have alligator arms, right? That's the day that you cause the interception that will not go on the stat sheet that you caused the interception. It would just be you. So you got to have that mindset that, hey, I'm willing to block my ass off. I'm willing to run my routes correctly. I'm willing to be the decoy, the clear out guy. You got to be all of those guys. And then on top of that, you got to be quarterback friendly. It's a difficult situation, and then you gotta hush, even when you're open. You can't be like, "Hey,
man, yeah," and that's impossible, bro. That's asking a tiger to not have stripes.
Facts.
How can you be a receiver and you don't say nothing when you open? No, bro, no. They got to be the alphas like that. See,
look what the Browns did, boss. Look what the Browns did. Like, when you look at the Giants and them, like when he showed out and turned up, they got rid of him. Like, they kept Baker Mayfield over him.
Yeah.
Right.
When he started talking a little bit and being a little bit, they was like, okay, well, you got to go. And like you said, that's not the way in Dallas. You can't talk about that. You got to be quiet and just, hey, we get you the ball when we get you the ball. He could be like that when he came over to the Rams, because they like that. Go ahead, be yourself. Do you. They like that.
And let me read this super chat right quick, because he's right on the money. Chris 214 says Cowboys want everybody to be Jason Witten, but people think that Jason Witten was their friendly little sheep, but that sheep had teeth. He wouldn't allow. He shut down a lot of people for opportunities. He did. He got in the way. Like, come on, old man, you sit down somewhere. Let the youth get in. But no, he was out there, and then he got into the face. Him and Dez Bryant. See, they don't recall that moment, boss, in Big Game. getting in fisticuffs on the sideline. Him and Dez Bryant arguing, you know.
And that's a great example, bro. See, Law, you killed that example. So for everybody that's, oh, I want the receivers to be like Witten. Witten was the most selfish MF ever, dog.
Selfish.
He was so selfish, dog. Now, I know y'all want to worship him. I already know.
Not me.
I know y'all want to worship. Not you, I know you. But I already hear the worship happen. Ain't
it too my guy, though?
He my guy. But listen, bro. Steven said himself that every time we got a tight end, he said Jason Witten used to go right to his office and say, "You just wasted a draft choice."
Shout out to Bennett.
So when we said people skills don't make sense for receiver, we mean it. It's in any real receiver tight end pedigree to be selfish. That's why they picked the position.
Yeah.
Think about it. When you receive a tight end, you want to be glorified.
Yeah.
You want the ball.
Yeah.
You want the ball. That's why you came to the receiver. You want the ball.
To my people skills. All right. OC, what you got on this, bro?
What up,
Yeah,
OC?
man. I think. Yeah, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
It's good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So what I was gonna say is, I think you guys are absolutely right. I think that what makes you a good receiver is being selfish.
Yep.
I think what makes you a good quarterback is being selfish.
Yep.
I think that narcissism and having a high ego, being very egotistical, is a part of the thing that drives you to be great in the role.
Right.
And I think if you don't have that, I think that really you end up being a B or a C guy, even if you have A talent. It's a certain mentality that's attached to excellent performance in certain positions. You know, that's why CEOs and marketing directors, they are, performers. They're ego driven. They're the type of people that want to shine. And that's what you got to have. So, if Jerry want to use that as an excuse, basically, this goes back to Mike McCarthy, not Mike McCarthy, but goes back to our drafting and scouting department, right? To where you have to get a certain type of guy. You have to get a certain personality that will fit within the Cowboys. And if you don't have that certain personality where you're going to be corporate and go alone and get alone and you stand out too much, they kind of like that, just to be honest with you.
Say, and my boy Landlord with the super chat say, "What's happening, boss? That's why I'm the way I am." So he an ex wide receiver. I want y'all to know that. Landlord from Alabama, ex wide receiver. He say, "Boss is right. Wide receiver vibes, but it's also what makes us great. Confidence, ego." Hey man, bro, I feel you. Now I did say I said that we was gonna attack this from multiple angles. After the final word, y'all go hear every case on this. Now, we got a good question. Somebody say, how does Odell Beckham help the running game? I'm gonna answer that question. A lot of y'all don't know this, but when Amari Cooper came to the Cowboys, Dak passing rating went up by 20. But it didn't just happen by accident. It was why. Think about it. How does having a weapon help your running game? Can you stack boxes? Can you go man coverage? When you know that your nickelback got to cover Odell Beckham? So what do you go naturally do scheme-wise? You go soften. Yeah. So, weapons on the outside do help your running game. It does. Yeah, because it's the threat. It's the big play threat. So let me tell you like this. This is what my D coordinator taught me. He say, boss, he say the first concepts that all defenses start with is how to stop four verticals. If it's not an answer on how to stop the deepest, most threatening play first, we throw the play away. So everything defensive scheme-wise starts with how to not give up the big play. That's first.
Right.
That's how receiver helps your running game. I just want to answer that question. Real quick. Also, I said we was going to talk about this from angles because there's other angles I think we need to talk about too. That's good stuff. So this is a thought I want us to tackle. My boy Iceberg Slim, he said this when we was talking about Odell Beckham yesterday. He said people are slow putting Odell Beckham on Dallas. He said that run the damn ball battle goes out the window. Y'all know damn well Kellen Moore will relapse. Whoa. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I'm gonna start with you, Law.
Well, when we look at the team that won the Super Bowl, Odell Beckham was on that team. And one can argue that they ran the ball. So
they did.
I get what people say, where if you bring in more and more talent, you got to justify the means, and now you got to pass more. No, that's not the case nor the scenario. The philosophy still should be the same. I'm just still trying to get my guys out here to really have weapon on weapon, meaning to keep the offense or the opposing team trying to stay up an extra 15 to 20 minutes. There's more game planning around this guy, Odell Beckham, versus Noah Brown, right? There's more respect out of the defensive back. Let me know if I'm wrong, boss. Out of Odell Beckham, it's a different type of philosophy when he get the first down and flex versus a Noah Brown get the first down and flex.
Yeah,
I just want you guys to go back and look at how it elevates everyone. If Noah Brown was on the open market, I'm quite sure, because Noah Brown, he ain't no 2-year player. He's been in the league for like 5 or 6 years. I don't think that there will be a Micah Parsons tweeting out to Noah Brown, come on, Cowboys, come on. Come on, man, bring in this dude, But by this guy, Beckham being out here, and I'm not saying just for the name, but the opposing teams got to respect. There's an interview out there, or a quick excerpt out there with Prime talking, and said that on his latter years, he still was able to get the looks because they still respected his abilities, although he said that he didn't have it, right? So there are those type of things that come into play.
What's your thoughts on that, Big? The fear of Kellen Moore relapsing.
Ooh-wee. That right there, that's kind of tough because we know how he is, and I'll be screaming 30 for 30, but it might be 60 for 20 if Odell Beckham comes for real, because that boy, he's gonna be like, I got somebody who can really stretch this. I'm gonna throw the ball every down. Like first play, probably gonna throw it to him. If Odell Beckham came on the team, first play gonna throw it to him. See what I'm saying? So,
it's true. It's true.
I feel
that's a
that
true statement, dog.
I mean, I heard Mike McCarthy even say, I think this was a few weeks ago, where he was saying, where they were asking him, as an offensive coordinator, do you like throwing the ball? He's like, yeah, I like throwing. As an offensive coordinator, you like throwing the ball. So it'd be really hard for me to see that, the 30-30 club will still be going. But I will say this, maybe with the emergence of Tony Pollard would help that, fellas. Maybe that would help, because now you got to say, when you see Tony Pollard these consecutive weeks getting, touches and making this offense better, maybe that would help, and still maybe trying to get carries to those running backs because of the electricity Tony Pollard adds. But that's just me guessing on that, because we know what Kellen Moore is. He's a passing coach. He's not a running coach.
Yeah.
Hey, I got one more. I got one more insight on this.
I'm gonna go against the grain.
The OC, before you go and say this, let me say this one thing. I want people to understand that the coverage also dictates that. So if they are in single high look and the Cowboys continue to throw the ball all day, have at it. But if they're in quarters or what have you, dropping 6 or 7, then you run it. I think that if that is what Kellen Moore understood, then we don't have no conversation here. But go ahead.
Hey,
yeah,
OC,
man,
can you bring your camera down some, just a little bit, if you can?
They want to see that
Unless
chin.
you drop.
Go. That better, sir?
That's a little bit more, man, because I can't put your lower thirds there. There you go.
All right. You good?
Yep. There you go.
Okay, cool. All right, so listen, guys, I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit, and before I say this, shout out to Rika Moving the Chains, and she wrote a really, really awesome article about the impact of somebody we have not talked about in this show. Really, really insightful, and I want to submit it to the court. All right, what about Brian Schottenheimer? Brian Schottenheimer was brought in as a consulting coach.
Yeah.
And his dad is the late, great Marty Schottenheimer. Well, his career notates and shows a commitment to being plus positive on the run game. So he was brought in as a scout and a consultant for both the offense and the defense. I think that perhaps behind closed doors, he is also with Mike McCarthy on the influence and the importance of a running game. So I don't think that if you get Odell Beckham, you abandon the running game. I just think that you throw the football more easily. That's what I think. I think that obviously, to you guys' point, you have to back up and respect the deep route. You got to respect the big play. So it makes it easier on runoffs. It makes it easier to create lanes, especially if you commit and continue to run counter traps, tall sweeps, lead tackle sweeps, things like that. So that's my take on the matter. What say he?
Well, what say Boss? So Boss gonna say this: 6-2 versus 6-2. Last year we was 6-2. We was number 1 in the league at rushing attempts.
Okay.
And we abandoned it.
Okay.
We abandoned it. Now we 6-2. But this is the difference. Last year when we was 6-2, Kellen Moore was being called genius. This year we 6-2. And Kellen Moore being put in his place. So I do understand the fear. I get it. For everybody that's concerned about the relapse of Kellen Moore, the real question is this right here real? Is this real? Right? Right? You with me, Lau? If this is real, then we scared of the boogeyman, right? If Mike McCarthy has established himself with a run identity and he has won the war, we are afraid of nothing. But if Kellen Moore has our power like he had last year, then be very worried about the relapse of Kellen Moore. But I think this 6-2 different from this last year's 6-2, to be honest. If we go back to pass happy after winning 4 games with a backup, we deserve to lose in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We deserve it. And I just don't think we that dumb.
I echo that too. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and to boot what you're saying, Boss Cowboy, here's the deal, man. The real deal is this, is that Kellen Moore has to win in the court of popular opinion. He's like a gladiator right now. He has to win the crowd to win his freedom, right? And we used to talk about this a lot.
Facts.
So he knows right now, he's playing the game. He knows that if he goes back to throwing the football a lot and we lose the game, my goodness.
He's gonna be
OMG. He knows the fallout will be so tremendous.
Yeah.
He's not going to do that. He'd rather lose the game trying to run the ball too much than try to open up and throw the ball because he knows where he is in the court of popular opinion. So he ain't going to do it.
I agree.
He ain't going to do it.
I agree 1,000%.
And just to echo what you were saying, both of you guys, it goes back to the formation. I don't think that we were mad and angry that they threw the ball everywhere, but it was common sense that they were neglected, right? And in those type of style of defenses, we were like, run the ball. You know, there's 7 of them out there. And the thing was, week 1, the Bucs, keep in mind, write this down, Ezekiel was averaging over 6 yards or close to 5 to 6 yards.
6.2.
Oh, 6.2. It was 6.2 yards per run. But they was like, hey, he's going to fall back into their tendencies and traps so we don't have to get out of this cover 2 or quarters or what have you, or dropping 7. At one point, they dropped 8, y'all. They dropped 8. And the Cowboys still tried to throw into the teeth of that. So the whole time when people were saying that, man, Dak should learn from Cooper Rush out of these last 5 games when Cooper Rush was doing his thing or what have you, and 4 out of 5 that he won, and I was banging on the table and said, no, it's Kellen Moore who should learn that, hey, when you got that type of look, put the ball in the belly of the running backs. And if you go back, ladies and gentlemen, in the 49ers game that we lost to in the playoff, 2 things. 1, we was nervous. if you have somebody with the kind of caliber of Odell, you remove that nervousness out the way because now you have confidence. Somebody who been here before. 2, you can't go through the entire game with only 4 touches to Tony Pollard. I think that they understand that Tony Pollard is one of the most explosive guys on his team, and you got to give him more than 4 looks.
Yeah, you definitely got to give him more than 4 looks. I want to address something real quick. And this is talking about the OC. He said, dude, coaches aren't thinking about popular opinion. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They are thinking about, let me tell you why. Why do you think Mike McCarthy waited to after Tampa to go in on Kellen Moore? Now, he always knew and always didn't like those option routes. What made him wait? He needed to wait till the public was against Kellen Moore's system. He had to let that thing die right in the open before he had the power to challenge him. Because if he would have challenged him early, he would have looked insecure, and likely the front office would have got Kellen Moore back. So he had to let that system fail. And that's why he waited to after Tampa. And then that's when he stuffed a mud hole in Kellen Moore. He could have did it last year. What was he doing last year, Law? Big OC. He was begging. I hope we run the ball. Huh?
Yeah.
What I hope we throw it to Amari Cooper. That's what he was saying last year. Yeah, after Tampa, he came out totally different, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it's politics in this, y'all. It's also timing. That's why we was the first people to start using the analogy of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
We was the first people to show that it's real politics in coaching. Like, people think like, oh yeah, you don't wait till the public on your side. Yes, you do. Yeah, that's why they got rid of Garrett, because it was overwhelming now that the public was against Garrett. It was no saving Garrett after the public was that mad at Garrett. It was no coming back.
Yeah.
So yeah, and why do you think front office leaks their version of the story all the time if we didn't matter?
Yeah.
If the public don't matter, yeah, they care greatly about the public. I just want to put that out there.
Had them
You
sweating.
got something else on that?
About that Amari
Yeah.
Cooper.
Oh yeah, they
sweating.
wasted trade value.
Yeah.
Now I do got some film, because like we said, we was gonna look at this from our own angles. Before we go to the film, I want to tackle one more thing from my boy Iceberg, because Iceberg, he be having some good thoughts, man. So I want to acknowledge some of this stuff. And my boy Life Crazy say 228 people and only 79 likes. Yeah, y'all gotta hit the like button, bro.
Shame.
Come on now, hit that like button. Hey, but listen, it happens. I was on Law Channel today and I forgot to hit that like. I just thought about
Shame, man. Shame.
it. Happens, dog. So my bad, Law.
Speaking of Game of Thrones, speaking of that.
Shame.
Shame.
But this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
Shame.
go over there and hit that like as a reminder. I'm gonna go over there and hit that like. Boy, Law had a good show today, boy. Y'all better go back and check it out. That boy was going in.
I
Man, it was a
appreciate
good show. I enjoyed it. But check this out. He said Kellen Moore has a chance to put the NFL on notice with his new 3 tight end sets. F. Odell Beckham, because our OC would come predictable 3 wide receiver sets. What's y'all thoughts on that?
That's what the OC been talking about for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Run 31 personnel. That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Because you have an opportunity to control the middle of the field from hash to hash, which forces one-on-one matchups with the receivers that you do have. And for good measure, you can control the middle of the field from hash to hash, running up the center, neutralizing the safeties, and you can drag across a tight end opposite and underneath. He's going to be open all day long, and it's nothing anybody can do about it. Go back and look at the late, great Patriots, Bill Belichick, when they had Rob Gronkowski and they had Aaron Hernandez when they were rookies and they were second-year players. They torched the league just running 21 with 2 effective guys. We got 3. So, man, we should do it. Agreed.
But hey, he had a lot more to say, dog. He said F. Odell.
No, I ain't saying that. I ain't going that far. I'm going with the first part. I'm going
I
with the
thought you was
first. I
agreeing.
ain't
I
saying
thought you
all that.
agreed with everything. I was like,
I
man,
ain't saying
Yeah, I
all
was
God.
like,
that.
dang, OC.
I ain't saying all
He
that.
said,
I'm
I ain't
saying,
saying that.
I
Now he
did all
said,
that.
I
Okay.
like
no,
them
I ain't
scissors.
say
I ain't saying
that.
that.
I ain't
Hey,
crazy now.
man.
Yeah,
Like, all right, come on
and that
now.
formation is going to keep the defensive coordinators up a little extra to see how they can slow that down. Do you go with your bigger packages or do you go with your finesse packages? But when you play against different teams and they've seen it before on tape, they're going to try to isolate that. But I feel what you're saying, right? If it's good, do it until they stop it. Me and my brother used to call it bread and butter, man. Go to your bread and butter play, man. Keep using it.
But long. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you, man, you can go power and finesse with that 31, right?
Uh-huh.
Because Schultz is the only dude who really can't block. He the only dude who really can't block. Them other two young dudes,
Yeah,
them
the
dudes can
young
block.
buck. Yeah.
And they've proven they can block, and they've proven they can run routes, and they've proven they can catch the football. So really, you have a two-way go with 31. Or if you just want to reduce down to 21, you still can do almost anything that you want to do with those two young tight ends.
That boy landlord say, man with a bookshelf like that, I'm listening to OC gotta be wise.
True. Fact.
Salute,
That boy you got the
landlord.
botanicals back there. What you got back there, man?
That boy landlord.
Yeah, that's real. You got the
Botanica.
almanac.
Yes.
He got almanacs.
The
That
fifth,
boy,
Old school, man.
I'm gonna say the OC gotta be wise with a bookshelf like that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
All right.
That's
Hey,
real.
man. Hey,
Hey, but you
Big,
know
you
what
had
though?
some.
Just bouncing off what OC said. Just what OC is saying. Because when I first saw Hendershot, that's the first person I thought was Aaron Hernandez. His body type, the way he's built, and you can see every time he comes on the field, they like spreading him out wide because he can play like a wide receiver for you. But if you're a OC offensive coordinator in this league, isn't it your job to be able to adapt? So if you add an Odell Beckham, isn't it your job to figure it out? Like your personnel, like I can do a 31 personnel, I can do a 3%, I can mix and match this depending, like Law was saying, to the matchups. That's where Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy got to continue to be in communication, and Kellen Moore's got to continue to grow, because if that is added, he has got to be able to do this in year 3 now, to be able to adapt and be able to say, okay, I got this matchup, I'm going to really attack it because my 3 receivers can do this. Okay, they're kind of shutting this down, let's hit these tight ends on that. He's got to be able to be adaptable to be able to do that, and he's got to grow up in that aspect.
And this is another thing I want to add to my boy, because there's another side. It's a whole other side of people that don't want Odell for different reasons. My boy was talking about the tight ends, right? And I think he raised some good points because and before I go into this, I want to first say something real quick about my boy Law. Shout out to you, Law. I really like how you handled Coach Marv today. A lot of people didn't agree with Coach Marv, but you handled that with so much respect. Let me just say something real quick before I get into this point. So the thing that I love about what Law did is because he was saying that he'd rather have Noah Brown than Odell Beckham, right? And the chat went off. It went off. Oh, what is he smoking? He on dope and all. It just disrespect. And Law checked it respectfully, but he checked it. He was like, listen, I might disagree, but y'all go respect Coach. I really appreciate you on that, Law. And that was a good example of why you the best, bro. Because, and Law said something. He said, we go disagree, but we got to do it respectfully. Shout out to boy Law Nation. Let me hit your button for that.
3, 2, 1, drop it.
And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go.
Damn good job on that, Law, man. I really appreciate that. Just how you handled that, man. It was so classy. So my boy Iceberg Slim with the 3 tight end sets. This is the issue that I have with the 3 tight end sets. I agree with you wholeheartedly, OC. I just don't agree with people that's saying because of 3 tight end sets, let's not get Odell Beckham. Why? And I know you're not saying that, OC. I know you're not saying that. I know that. But this is the issue that I have with that. How do you come back if you if the other team got a big lead with 3 tight ends? How do you go vertical quickly with 3 tight ends? That's the case for Odell Beckham. And this is the case I'm going to make. Y'all remember when we played Green Bay in 2016, we got taken out of that game by the refs.
True.
Yeah. Think about it. All our drives was killed on a bogus penalty. That's how Green Bay got ahead. Remember? And we got to the playoffs running the ball, remember? And Green Bay was weak at stopping the run, but we had to abandon it because they got a big lead. And that's when Dak had to throw us back in it. Who is he go throw to if we abandon the wide receivers? If we just be like, we got enough. Now, remember, a lot of times, y'all better remember this, a lot of times we playing the refs too. And when you trying to come back, you need weapons, dog.
I got to go back and rewatch it, for those drive killers, man. But yeah, you're right. You got to match firepower, and everything condenses when you get into the next level, right? And people see that. Like, I was watching the game, the Texans versus the Eagles game, and even though they had them right to dead, they just didn't have enough firepower, to answer back. And then when they tried to rush it, that's when the pick came, and that was the turning point of that game. Who remember that game, by the way? But it seems as if, though, the opposing team, when they had Zach Pascal and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, I know some of the Eagle fans is watching right now like, yeah, man, Cowboys talking glowingly of us, yay. But no, it was just really, it was nothing that I can see that the DBs was like, in awe because they had no answers. Jalen Petrie, he's my guy. The other kid from LSU, he's my guy. I wanted the Cowboys to draft him. Stingley and all of those boys, they young. They inexperienced. They gave up a lot of cushion because when they tried to play him up tight, he's too big. He battled him, right? When they try to pay off, he get him at the top of the route. So they was trying to build the plane while it was in the air, and the opposing side of it, the offense just didn't have no answer outside of trying to run the ball to get back into the mix of it. You don't want to get into the playoffs, whereas now you're relying on Noah Brown, and I ain't throwing no shade at him, y'all, and all of a sudden Jalen Tolbert, because Michael Gallup went down for a few series. You don't want that, right? You don't want to try to roll out the 3 tight end set then if you're down by 2 tubs. You need somebody that can find the soft spots in the zone, who can keep the momentum going, or who can free up everything for CeeDee Lamb.
Facts. And before, we finna get into this film session. All right, so here we go. So we finna get into this film session. Because to me, we covered this from a lot of different places. The last place we got to look at is the film. Let's look at his film from the Rams. We're going to break this down. Here we go.
The OC.
The film breakdown.
All right, let's take a look-see at Odell Beckham Jr. Good route, good catch right there. Is a guy that's ran a simple drag route on that, and, he came open. So now look at this. This is empty, right? And so you're running the back. Go ahead. He ran a simple underneath crossing route, in route, just very, very simple.
And good catch because it was way behind him.
Yep, excellent. Now this is the Rams running empty. So you see no running back in the backfield. This is 5 receivers. This is we trying to score, and we trying to get you leverage because we believe we got better receivers than you. All right, so here it is. And this is just a simple hitch. This is a stop route or hitch route. But because of the leverage that they're playing off on him so much, he's wide open. They're giving so much ground. And so on this play, here he is again. Now he's over the top, right? And that's the threat right there. That's the thing that makes him special and unique, the ability to get on top of defenders and accelerate past them. That's a touchdown.
And Green Bay got good corners. Green Bay got good corners.
And that's another stop route. But notice, because of the threat, how much cushion they give Odell Beckham, which makes that route an easy completion. There it is again. That's another route. That's an up and out route. So looks like an out route. And, that's a very, very easy completion. Again, all dictated because of the respect that you have on Odell Beckham Jr. That's a slant. Very, very good. I don't know why that kid was playing off. That's a touchdown. That's a slant. And there the kid is playing way off, and that just was a mistake. He gave him inside leverage, just bad. And so that's another out route, and that's very, very good. Excellent job there by him. We got motion, so we got empty. We got empty once again, and not just an easy pitch and catch because that corner played him bad. But again, that's a touchdown, man. That's a touchdown. So quick slant route, that's easy touchdown. And here he is again. Now this is when he's working, up the field, and that's a really, really good catch in traffic by Odell Beckham Jr.
He catch so good in traffic.
He do.
Yeah, he because he got hands, and that's a simple drag route, and that's really smart, right? From the slide position, they running everybody else off. They're dragging him across from the slide. He's wide open. That's really good play design, by the way. Let me point that part out. That was excellent play design. And so you play action pass, corner out, and there he is to the sideline. You can't cover that. You running him to the corner, man. Nobody's going to be able to cover that. And so that's a really great job, and that's another good play design. We got another empty set again. We're running a screen here, all right? And this is good. I mean, but because it keeps the defense honest, right? And this sets up the deep routes when you throw those quick now routes or those quick screen routes. And here he is again. This is a screen, design screen. And here's the thing, too. He still has very good athleticism and run after the catch ability. And so you have those options with him as well. This is spread. And here he is again, just being really good catching the ball underneath. So you're running them off, running Cooper Kupp deep and using him underneath. And you can't really cover him one-on-one. And you have to respect him and play off because if you don't, he burns you. And that's him again catching the ball in traffic.
And then he gonna let you know it too.
He killed in traffic. Ooh, he killing it. Ooh, look at that route, dog.
Yep.
Let me rewind that. Oh my. That's 5 yards of separation, dog. That was kill with this. Man, what is wrong with y'all?
Is that coming off of ACL too?
That's off of ACL, dog.
Yeah, that's off ACL. Ooh. Yeah, he broke his ankles on that, man.
And Dantzler ain't no bum. Dantzler ain't no bum.
Yeah, that
not at all, man.
Is ice, dog.
And so, again, that's an out route. But again, that out route is a simple 6-yard gain because you got to respect them and you got to play off. That's the whole thing about this, and you'll see it over and over again as you watch this film. And this is him coming back when the play breaks down. Right, he comes back, he breaks off his route because he sees the quarterback about to scramble. That's high IQ, and that's just being an experienced, very, very good wide receiver. That's him again on the comeback,
in traffic.
And in traffic, taking a hit in the back and coming up with the football. So if the ball is in his radius,
traffic,
look at that. Yeah, he's gonna catch it, man. You can put it on him. Somebody could be stuck to his back. He's gonna catch the ball. He has, some of the best hands in the game. Some people argue some of the best hands ever. This is a rollout pass, and this is a very good out route. That's a touchdown. That's very good on a bunch formation, and it's very, very hard to stop. But I will point out that's really good play design. Okay, getting him open, but he's doing the rest of it by catching the football, being shifty, manipulating his routes, getting open, catching the ball in traffic, and overall just being a really good athlete.
Right. And so, I want to turn on the tape. Because it's a lot of people that when we make comparisons, is Noah Brown, just keeping it real, is James Washington on that level?
No.
No, man.
Just keeping it real now.
They will catch the ball, of course, but it's not to that kind of caliber or to that degree. And
he was killing in traffic.
We had to see James Washington, but 9 times out of 10, his high. Look, I want you guys to look this up, and I know we can talk about, hey, he didn't have this quarterback, that quarterback. His highest catch total in every game, in any season, was 44. So that's what we're relying on, right? That's his highest ever catches in a season, was 44 catches. So I'm not finna put all of my chips in, push it to the middle of the table and say, hey, James Washington is the answer. No, I'm trying to get better at that spot, and I'm trying to bring in more iron to sharpen iron.
Yeah. I don't see
Plus, he not built right.
He's a running back.
Shoulder pads. Shoulder pads. Man, what's wrong with my boy James? Watching the big old.
He's Emmett, man. That's
built
Emmett
right,
long
dog,
lost
to be
son.
doing all that. He's stiff as he just looks stiff as hell.
He be having them big old shoulder pads.
He's not doing what man. He looked just built wrong and stiff.
He's built solid, man. He's a running back that play wide receiver, man. And I don't know, man. Dez Bryant advocated for him and said the Cowboys were going to pick him up. And then a few weeks later, the Cowboys picked him up. Now Dez Bryant is banging on the table for Odell Beckham. So we'll see what happens in the next few weeks.
So check this out. Obviously, now we turn the page to Green Bay.
Whoa.
Right? Yeah, we turn the page to Green Bay. And, Green Bay is a sensitive topic, right? It's they talk about the emotions of Mike McCarthy. So I want to kind of get y'all thoughts on Green Bay. I know you already kicked it off big about this, but this is something as a Dallas fan, big. I felt you 100% on the beginning, bro, about this game, and we go kind of talk about this game real quick. But, bro, I felt you 100%. My Facebook screensaver has been a Dez catch and has never changed since that day.
Wow.
I've never changed it, bro. I've always kept one thing to remember, and I always say the North will remember. That's what I think about Green Bay, bro. I hate Green Bay.
Me too.
So I want this for McCarthy. I want this for the new Dallas Cowboys, because this is the new Dallas Cowboys. That old Dez catch was under the old regime. And I ain't gonna lie, Aaron Rodgers got that right. I can't. My boy Hippie, I don't like Hippie. Hippie make me sick.
Yeah.
But Hippie got it right today when they asked him about Mike McCarthy. He say, "Man, that's a whole new thing Dallas got over there." I can't brag too much. Y'all won a lot in Dallas, but what we getting ready to face is not what we faced before. So, so let me just go around the circle, man, and we go just kind of take this Green Bay. We can talk about player by player, matchup by matchup, the threats. Aaron, I think they go run the ball. I think they go test us on the ground. We could talk about the lack of weapons. Whatever y'all want to talk about, man, we going around the circle real quick.
Oh, you want
Starting
me to
with
go
you,
first?
OC.
Okay, go.
Okay, we go with you, Law.
Well, that's one team that I can't stand is Green Bay Packers, and they got a slew of injuries, and I don't care. They said Aaron Jones nicked up. They said Romeo Dobbs, where art thou, Romeo? He's banged up, and that's okay. Aaron Rodgers looking like a shell of himself, and this game got a high emotions, man. Even Mike McCarthy, he teared up at the podium because of this game. Of the memories of his daughter being born there, and I'm quite sure a third of his family rooting for the Green Bay Packers since he's been there. I think his wife is from the location, by the way. So I'm quite sure that Green Bay blood is pouring through their veins, and he got to go in there and exterminate. And I can't stand Aaron Golden, boy. Oh, woo! Rodgers, I can't stand him. Because it seems as if though the aficionados, they all agree upon anything that happens in that game. You're right, Big Game James and Boss and OC. We're going to play against two teams that night, right? Or that day.
Yep.
And we got to be locked, loaded, and ready. I want us to be so dominant that even when they try to pull that BS, that it won't be enough. And we know that they're going to do that, but it will not be enough. I want this team to be locked, loaded, and focused. Look, Mike McCarthy, so focused. The man, he got a smooth face. He shaved his beard off. I'm like, whoa, what's going on, Mike? Did y'all pick that up? I said, man, he done shaved his beard off. He's focused. He's locked in on this game. Grow that beard back.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think that, it's a lot of.
My bad. Go ahead, OC.
You can go ahead, man. Yeah, no, I'm saying I think it's a lot of emotions attached to it, and naturally it should be, right? But if it was any good time to play the Green Bay Packers, it's right now. The Green Bay Packers are 3-6. They got a lot of injuries. Aaron Rodgers looks semi-confused. Nobody's getting open. offensive line is blocking questionably, and the defense is very up and down. And so if the Cowboys come out and take care of their business, they can actually go up there and put a really nice whooping on the Green Bay Packers, which I think will take a huge monkey off Mike McCarthy's back, and he'll feel justified, and it'll give him more confidence as a coach. And I think this team, as the season progresses, because Aaron Rodgers has come into the Dallas Cowboys Stadium and he's been a Cowboy killer. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
and so because of that, man, we owe you one, man. You do for a good beatdown. You do for a good beatdown.
Hippie.
And we need to go up there. We need to get that beatdown.
Oh, hippie.
Yeah. I feel you, OC. I feel you, Law. And I said this last year. I wanted to slay them Dragons last year when we were 12-5. I was screaming, slay them Dragons. I wanted Brady. I wanted Rodgers in them playoffs so bad. I feel the same way. I just can't stand both of them. Not in like I hate y'all, but in the football aspect, I can't stand either one of y'all. I can't stand y'all. And I circle both of them teams, Bucks and Packers this year. And when the Cowboys came out of their bye, I had the Cowboys 4-4, but I said the win streak started when they went to Green Bay and went on like a big run. That's when that win streak was started. I just feel like it's about time, fellas. I don't want to hear no excuses. They've been playing bad against other teams. I don't give a hell. I want to stomp these dudes. I want to utterly destroy Aaron Rodgers. I want our defense. I want our team to really understand how much this means to the fans.
Yeah.
That's what I want this team to understand. Team, understand how much these Cowboys fans want us to beat Green Bay, please. So come with that fan energy. If y'all can understand what I'm saying, come with that energy from the fans, because we all want this so bad. So I just feel like the Cowboys really feel the fans, because I feel like a lot of our fans feel the same way about Green Bay. Like it's due. The same way we've kind of felt about Brady. Like it's time to get him. It's time to get Aaron Rodgers, dog. In that 2016 year when we beat them in Green Bay, man, that felt so good. I don't know how. I mean, that's the biggest victory.
Good.
Like I don't care. That victory right there still stands out to me, because our defense wasn't great. You feel me? It wasn't great, and Aaron Rodgers had a bad game that game. I think he threw a couple picks in that game. He didn't look himself. That was Dak rookie year. Ezekiel Elliott was running all over him. Didn't it feel good the way we just beat them in Green Bay?
Yeah.
Just felt so good. And that's what needs to happen this time. We need to stomp these dudes. We got the corners. We got the line. Michael Parsons, man. Hey, you know what, boss? I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, D-Law, if you want to try to help Boss and get this back together, this is the game. This is the game. If you want to help Boss Cowboys out there, this your boy. This your boy. This your boy, D-Law.
I need you,
if
dog.
this is the game, go ahead and get you about a couple sacks to help Boss out, because we gonna win this bet.
I need
but
you,
this
dog.
is the game where you can do this game.
Yeah. Make
Go
it close,
ahead and
Tate.
turn up that.
Make it close, Tate. God, at least make it close, dog. God,
about to get paid. Make it close this game for Boss, man. And
but don't lie, big.
me and-
He been almost there though a lot this year, having to be.
But I've been saying he's almost he's Tyrone Crawford right now. He's almost guy.
Yeah, he almost, bro. He need to break down. If you would have break down and make them tackles, bro, I would already be getting ready to take your money.
Probably about
dog.
8 sacks right now.
Yeah, he would have about 8 sacks right now.
Last
Yeah,
game,
about 8
he
sacks right now.
was greedy.
Nah, he was tripping, bro. It's another reason that since we talking about Green Bay, bro, just keeping it real. See, I hate it every time hearing, well, Dak need to be like Aaron Rodgers.
He better not be
So
like
Aaron
him now.
Rodgers don't need no weapons. He can just throw them open. Dak need to see Dak. He good, but Aaron, he just on another level. He don't need a number one. Bro, I want this is why I want to smash Green Bay. Ooh, I sadly want to smash Green Bay because of a lot of our own fans. I'm dead serious.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All that hating on our own guy. All that hating. See, my question is, is Aaron the God that y'all say he was? Because y'all made him the Lord and Savior of quarterbacks. You said Dak he didn't need a number one. Just throw him open, Aaron. See, I want Aaron in the ground. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I like Aaron too. Aaron is a killer. I like the hippie. He's a true hippie. He a killer. He a dog.
Yeah.
But it's time, bro. It's time to move aside, man. I'm sick of you. And I'm ready. I'm ready to see my quarterback demantle this dude in his house. Can I get an amen?
Hallelujah.
Amen. Yeah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
With a gunshot.
Yeah. and this is the unique thing. Across generations, Cowboy fans can't stand Green Bay. You can go all the way back to the Ice Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And even when they had Brett Favre,
right.
You know, in the mid '90s and what have you, they couldn't win a game in Texas Stadium though. You know, but we still couldn't stand them. You know, Green Bay. You can go to any generation and you can point out why the Cowboys just don't like the Green Bay. And this modern generation, this is the first generation that appeases the quarterback. By the way, you know they fall in love. This generation they kiss up to Green Bay a little bit.
They do.
You know, but the old generation couldn't get not like Big Game James know one thing. You know, we talk about the Eagles, we talk about the Giants, but Big Game James know about the Washington, you know, battles. You know, you can't get Big Game James to say anything positive about the Washington team. You know, so just every generation different. You know.
And Green Bay's in top 5 of hate. You feel me? If you a Cowboys fan, older Cowboys fan like we are, you know what I'm saying? Like you just said, Law, it's kind of personal in my opinion. I think it's just personal. I can't stand Green. It's personal. I can't stand Green Bay, and I just it's time. Like you said, boss, I can't stand them. And even when we, just like you said, Law, even when we were smacking them in the 90s, I was happy we were smacking them. Like other teams we beat, no, I want to smack Green Bay. So every time, because I couldn't stand, because the same way they do Aaron Rodgers, right? Remember how they was doing Brett Favre? Oh, Brett Favre is the gunslinger. Brett Favre can do this. Brett Favre can do that. Brett. I got tired of hearing some Brett Favre. He do throw interceptions all day, all night. It's time to get Aaron Rodgers. It's time to put him in the ground, like Boss said. And this is time to destroy these guys. I want like a 40-7.
Yes.
I want something like that. I want like a 40-7 type game. I want him. I want 3 picks. I want 7 sacks. Somebody in the chat said 5. I want 7 sacks. I want
you remember,
because you know what? 7's the perfect number. Yeah. 7's the perfect number, fellas. And we're going. You just said a
8 is completion,
sermon, boss. 8 is completion, so let's go ahead and get 8. Look. It's time for the Lord to shine on the Lord is supposed to shine on Dallas that day.
Hey, Big AJ, you remember the last game? The last game that Wade Phillips coached.
My gosh,
that was
and you remember how they rubbed it in? You remember how they rubbed it? Because remember Clay Matthews, all them guys was having fun on Dallas that day. They was having fun. I ain't never forget that day because that's when they said, "Bye, Wade Phillips, you got to go."
Yeah. Who remember that game? Y'all put the score down and everything in the chat.
Hey man, and nobody been doing us worse than Green Bay
points.
though.
Ooh, they did us bad, man.
Ain't nobody been doing us worse than Green Bay. Green Bay been doing us bad, dog. Just think about the years that
Matt Flynn game. You remember that one?
The Matt Flynn versus Romo.
Oh my
bro.
They got into a fight with that one.
Hey, y'all remember? Hey, remember when we had that lead and Eddie Lacy had that long ass run? I said, here we go.
He was unstoppable that day.
2017, they went back-to-back throws on Adams, on Jordan Lewis.
Oh man,
God!
And they drove on us with 47 seconds to kill us.
We had them that game.
We put alcohol on the wound now, man.
Boy, I'm telling you, I want this game bad, dog. This game. I don't. But this is the thing about them. They scary too, dog. From this standpoint,
they're not going. Yeah.
They're a wounded animal, dog. You always watch these legendary teams when they wounded, bro. Cause see, we was
Against
and I'm not
Dallas.
saying it's a trap game because I ain't giving them that much credit. But I am saying this: we gonna have to dunk them all the way because they gonna come to fight, bro. They know what this game.
From the very beginning, we got to get on them because they're not gonna play like that against they play like Jacksonville. No, it's like they play. It's Dallas.
It's
Right.
Dallas.
You feel me,
Hey,
fellas?
in that
It's
playoff
Dallas.
game,
They're
Aaron
telling
Rodgers
me-
had
yeah,
one
they're-
leg in 2014.
No,
Yeah,
it's
bro.
He literally
It's
had.
Dallas.
Don't y'all know he had
It's
one leg?
Dallas.
Oh my
They
God!
saying it's Dallas week without saying it. They saying it in Green Bay. It's Dallas week. They may not be saying it in the streets, but you know daggone well they saying you better not let Dallas come in here and smack us like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guarantee you that their coach is saying this is a must-win game.
They are.
This is Dallas.
yeah.
This is a must-win game. This is the most important game because that's what I would do if I was the coach. So yeah, they gonna come out here and playing like it's the Super Bowl. So we got to be ready.
Yeah. They gonna be geared
And
up.
Dakota, I see you in the chat, bro. The Jets fan, yeah. Ain't nobody hating on the Jets, bro.
Yeah. Jets
Yeah.
6
Matter
and
of
3.
fact,
Shout out to him.
Yeah, Brees
I
Hall.
like that coach over there.
This is one of the only shows that showed Brees Hall love before he got drafted to you suckers.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we was the only ones did a mock draft where we moved down to get Brees Hall. And we did the whole thing for Brees Hall. We know he's supposed to have been the rookie of the year if he didn't get hurt. And we said it on this show first.
He said it. Yep.
Yep. We
And
sure
we
did.
was trying to calculate that.
Remember we
thing.
did the
Yeah.
trade scenario, the draft
Yeah, we did
scenario?
trade
picked
for
him.
Brees Hall. So
We
we
did.
know
We traded for him.
we're a Cowboy channel, but we know we look around the league, Dakota. We know what time it is.
And
bro.
Sauce.
Even though
Sauce-
you hating on us,
Uh-huh.
we not hating on y'all, big dog. I see you doing a lot of hating and dry
Yeah.
hating. We used to
Sauce-
that because we the
Sauce-
Cowboys.
Sauce-
we get that all the
Sauce
time.
only allowed 28 yards. on
Yeah,
top wide
Sauce
receiver
balling.
all year. 28?
And they
Sauce.
hurt over there too, and they
They
still
hurt.
winning. That coach
They
is
still
good.
win.
But
Yeah.
you know what? He coached in that. He coached in that Senior Bowl, and one of the reasons why I thought the Jets would be good this year because if you watch that Senior Bowl and his staff, the way they coached those Senior Bowls when we were there live, you could see the organization. So yeah, they're doing their thing. But hey, it is what it is.
Is that
How
his
about the
third year
Cowboys,
over
though?
there, big game in Boss, the head coach?
I think it's his second year, bro.
Second year.
Second
I
year.
think it's his second year.
Believe it or not,
'Cause he came in with Zach, didn't he?
It takes really like 3 years for your philosophy to kick in, especially on the defensive
Facts.
side. So that's why I'm
Yup.
saying, like, y'all think this defense is cold-blooded this year. I'm talking about my Cowboys now.
Ooh, I
Wait till
heard
next
you,
year.
Law. Ooh, I hear you, Law.
Wait till
Ooh,
next
I
year.
hear you, Law.
Yeah.
I hear you, Law. All right,
Interesting
man.
point, Law. Interesting point.
Yeah, man. So, do y'all have anything else in that Green Bay? Because I'm exhausted. All right, so final words.
You felt me too. I like that.
Exhausted. So, no, my final words. We getting ready to start the second half of the season. Okay, and I feel real good about where we are right now. I feel better about this 6-2 than I felt about last year's 6-2.
We peaked.
I feel much better about this 6-2 because we trending in the right direction versus we were starting to trend out of the right direction last year. So keep in mind, again, I say this all the time. In the first 6-2, the 2021 6-2, we led the league in rushing attempts, and Dak was the MVP. We was going out of that on the second half of the season. We started throwing. Now, this 6-2, we started off throwing. Now we starting to level off into our identity being a run team. And I'm seeing a whole lot more common sense. And what Law said is so epic. This is year 2 of this defense. This is year 2 of this defense. Jerry said something that I love. He said, man, did you think we was going to do what we doing? He said, absolutely. I expect us to go back to the playoffs, and we need to be better than what we was last year. I am seeing the Cowboys work towards that. So, I do have a show tomorrow. I want y'all to come back for that. Because I'm going to go heavy on Kellen Moore. Heavy on him being trained to become what the OC called a RPC, a responsible play caller. And I'm going in depth. So, and it's going to give you confidence on the direction that we going, but it's going to also give you conviction to keep your eyes on him because there's some dangers. So that's my final word.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with my quick final word. Great final word, boss. I think my final word is this, man. The last time the Cowboys had back-to-back playoff appearances, I believe, was 06, 07. That's a long time, you know what I mean? And I think this is going to happen this year too. First time in that many years they've had back-to-back playoff appearances.
Yeah. Woo.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's a good sign.
Good,
you know
bro.
what I mean? That feels good. That's a good sign. And so, you know, a lot of people that be hating on McCarthy, I think they should back off of him a little bit because, you know, that's the first time he's come in here, and in 3 years he's made the playoffs. Looks like it's going to be twice in a row. I'm going to say with Cowboys going to the playoffs. Feel me?
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's going to be no kind of collapse or anything like that. But I don't know, man. It's you know, who gets hot? You feel me?
Right.
Toward the end, I've been saying that who gets hot at the end, and that's what really matters, and health matters. So as long as that Cowboys can continue to stay healthy, it feels good. But once again, man, once we get to these playoffs, man, you know, it's got to be. I don't know. I just. A lot of the Cowboys fans are feeling like this could be the same thing. You know, I told you I haven't been drinking the Kool-Aid, so I just want the Cowboys really just to sit back and listen to the fans, man, the players. Listen to our hurt, man. Listen to our pain. We tired of seeing our good teams just go to waste. We tired of seeing good seasons just go to waste. And I think my final word is listen to us fans, Cowboys players. Y'all on Twitter. Y'all on Twitter all the time. Listen to us. We screaming for this to happen because this is another year where it's wide open. It's for the taking. It's for the taking, Cowboys. What are you going to do? It's for the taking, and that's my final word.
Hey, before y'all finish the final word, I just thought of something. I want to run this through the circle. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. But this is a good question that just hit me. Whatever happens at the end, who would y'all want to be the head coach, Mike McCarthy or Dan Quinn? I'm going to start with you, OC.
Mike McCarthy. Oh, I'm sorry.
Ooh, I'm going to go with you, Big. Go.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want Mike McCarthy. I seen Dan Quinn. I just feel like I've talked about this before. Some people are just better defensive coordinators than head coaches, and I just feel like that's what Dan Quinn. Now, I know he went over there in Atlanta and they did their thing. They went to a Super Bowl, so I'm not taking nothing from him from that. But it got bad real quick. You feel me? It got bad real quick, and I just feel like Mike McCarthy been there. He been through the wars, and he left Green Bay, and you saw what he did over there. And in this short time, look what he's done with Dallas. Let's keep it real. Yes, it was bad, but look at this short time. The 2020 season was messed up for a lot of teams, you feel me? But the way he's righted the ship and the way his command, I'm sorry. I'm going to stay with Mike McCarthy over Dan Quinn. I just feel like that's where I would go.
I'm going with Mike McCarthy too, bro. And this is why I'm going with Mike McCarthy, because I also believe in the sub coaches. So if we look, first of all, Mike McCarthy has been genius at managing the dysfunction of the Dallas Cowboys. He has been genius. And I don't frankly trust, even though I trust Dan Quinn as a coach, I don't trust his political ability. I don't. I think Dan Quinn is too much of a straight shooter for Dallas. You got to be a master politician. And I've been watching Mike McCarthy. He's been a master politician, bro. That's number one. Number two, is there an answer for Dan Quinn if we lost him? I say yes. Witt. Joe Witt. See, Joe Witt get a lot of respect too out this defense. I think you get a better chance at replacing Dan Quinn than Mike McCarthy.
Well, I look at it like this, and if you've been around the team and if you've been to these training camps, you'll see that Dan Quinn, he's a hands-on guy. And if you stretch that capacity out, you would lose some of that. And I think that goes a long way. Dan Quinn being able to elevate his guys, his contemporaries as it relates to coaching too. All of those guys, Joe Witt Jr., Al Harris, Dirt A, all of those guys should be getting phone calls at the end of this year to be a head coach somewhere. I would take Mike McCarthy as the head coach here because of those delegations that he exhibits out there. But far as those other guys that I mentioned, and of course George Edwards, all of those guys that I mentioned are all minority coaches. Why is it such a pivotal moment for these minority coaches to get head jobs? It's for one,
third rounders.
For one, you get draft capital now, right?
Yep, you get draft capital.
And you get
Yep,
draft
facts.
capital. So it's a situation where when they get elevated, and they got to get interviewed, and if they can have the resume of this Dallas Cowboys defense looking the way it is, and Dan Quinn will give them a good beat of, hey, these guys helped me out. These guys, I trained these guys, and my philosophy can live forever. And I like that, by the way, and I just think that Dan Quinn, he knows it, right? He understands that, hey, he's been that head coach. He failed, and he didn't want to relive that moment of failing again or being that guy that's on the bottom of most people's feet. I think that he relished his moment of developing and growing, and he got a footprint now that's in the NFL that will forever stay as long as he continues to coach here as a defensive coordinator. So I would rather have Mike McCarthy.
Wow, 3. So far, 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off. You mentioned, Boss Cowboys, to your point, that Mike McCarthy was like a wise king. And I think, man, that you're right, boss. I think that's played out. And I think that it's very difficult to replace the experience, the wisdom, and the know-how to navigate unstable waters. And that's what the Dallas Cowboys are without a super stable personality. You really need a patriarch. You really need a father figure that's strong enough to do what he got to do, but wise enough to lay back in the cut and let certain things play out. And I think he's played it perfectly. And I think in terms of the wisdom and the experience, he's going to be hard to replace. Some people say that it's better to be a great number 2 than a poor number 1. Not saying that Dan Quinn will be a poor number 1. I think that he's really learned and had a chance to sit back and digest a lot of things since the Atlanta firing. So I think he will be a much better head coach if he got another opportunity. I just don't think it will be optimal for him to be in the role for the Cowboys.
The OC.
There's no emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Straight business.
Straight business.
Put hashtag straight business in the chat.
All right, we right back at you for your final word, dog.
Yeah, man. So here's the deal with the Cowboys. I mean, Cowboys are playing the 3-6 Green Bay Packers. And my word for the Cowboys, I don't want to talk about the playoffs. We too far off. We're at the halfway point of the season. So I don't want to talk about that right now. I think that, man, the key word is steady. It's just be steady. Be steady and consistently good and boil the frog. And when I say boil the frog, I mean ramp up the intensity as you head toward the playoffs. So I want to see the Cowboys start to go into another gear when we get to those last 3 games. That's what I want to do, and that's what I want to see. And I want to see the Cowboys be consistent and stay committed to running the football. And if you run the football and you force teams to take away the run, the play action is going to be available. And my second word is continuity. Let Dak Prescott continue to get in a groove and develop continuity with all of the weapons, all of the receivers, tight ends, and backs. And if we just use these games to develop continuity and stick with our game plan, we're going to be in great shape. In terms of the defense, I think we still got to get better at run fits, man. I think that we use this game because the only chance that the Green Bay Packers have, in my opinion, is if they're able to keep our defensive rush honest because they're effectively running the football. So let's work on cleaning up the errors, the run fits, and then when we get to 3rd and long or 3rd and medium, man, we need to put the heat on Aaron Rodgers, man, and make him throw the football before he wants to throw the football. That's the keys to victory versus the Green Bay Packers. Other than that, just be steady. That's my final word.
Yes, indeed, man. Steady. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way. If the Cowboys stay focused and stay steady, look, let's not get into a penalty war. play sound football. The Green Bay Packers, we all know that this is a game. It's a game for Mike McCarthy to win. The players understand that. J. Ron Kurtz came out earlier this week and said, hey, I understand the levels of this game. I'm paraphrasing. And we want to win this game for Big Mike. And I'm quite sure that he is speaking from the defensive side. Keep in mind, Mike McCarthy is an offensive-minded guy. So that let me know that his reach also is to the defensive guys. Speaking of that, I got to give a shout-out to my guy, Koye. He coined this phrase or the statement right here. Would you rather be a king for a day or a prince for a lifetime? And that is where Dan Quinn is at right now. He can be that prince for a lifetime by coaching up this defense. He don't have to be the king because, you know, when the king falls, everybody want to root for that spot. And right now, he's in the best seat in the house. He can do this thing from where he's at. If the only thing on this defense that people have their reservations on is the quote-unquote run stop, I think that we did that by bringing in big Jonathan Hankins. I think that we will see improvement by Damone Clark. I can't wait to see y'all film analysis on that again, what Damone Clark brings to the table for after this game. And if the Cowboys stick to the philosophy, the 30 for 30 club, right, Big Game James?
30 for 30.
30 for 30, man. We go out there and we dominate, man. We unstoppable, baby. Hey, the NFL is wide open. It's wide open. What team did you think of is light years ahead of the other? No one. It's an any given Sunday. Let's go, Cowboys.
Let's go.
The final word.
The final word.
The final word.
The final word.
Switch it up on y'all boys.
So,
let's go, man.
lock in.
Dracarys.
I'm dancing.
Can we check or something?
Yeah, man. Appreciate Facebook. Y'all came through today. I loved it. Oh, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like on the way out, man. Don't be like me when I was on Law Page. Forget to hit that like button.
Get the like button, baby.
Hit that like. Don't leave without hitting that like. Sub to all the channels, too, bro. That's just
Kinda check us out.
Come on, man.
Lately, I just wanna run it up. Count that too, count it up.
The final.
Need them ones, I need them fives.
Let's go.
Need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside.
Good show, y'all.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same.
let's
I
get
still
it.
save and roll my change. Take some losses when I play. Charge it
Sure.
to the game. I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with J, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field.